Hey, hello everyone. This video is going to be about what is Unity first of all. You must have heard of so many games like Among Us and let me see which other games. Maybe yeah, Call of Duty Mobile and yeah, lots of games are actually getting made on Unity, especially for the mobile platform. For the PC and console, I think still there are bigger engines that are like Unreal that are getting used, but especially for the mobile platform and for AR and VR applications, which is the ones which are uh, made for the Oculus, the VR glasses, and for augmented reality applications, and for things like HoloLens and Magic Leap, which project some real content onto your project some virtual content onto the real world. This is also Unity is also getting used a lot. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about Unity and what we teach at Code Wizards. What kind of things are you going to learn in Unity? How does Unity actually work? So this is it. Unity can be downloaded for free. It's completely free for personal use. So it can be downloaded for free, although the installation process is slightly complicated. Along with Unity, we'll also install something called as Visual Studio Code. This is nothing but a place where you can type out your code, but it helps you as in it gives you autocomplete like suggestions of what you have to type, and it gives text in different colors so that it is easy to understand code, because coding language is not exactly like English. It is written in English with the English alphabet, that is ABCD, but it can get a little difficult to read because coding is ultimately coding. It is somewhat similar to what somewhere between what the computer understands and what the human beings understand. There's a meeting point between the two. So I'll keep Unity and Visual Studio open. I will actually, this is something that I'm actually going to make. I'll delete the script and then we'll start. Okay, where did this script go? It's not on the main camera. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah. This is something that we are actually going to do. We are going to create a lot of colorful spheres. I'm going to delete it and we'll start again. So this is my friends. This is what is Unity. Here, if you've seen something like Scratch, you will have a 2D screen. Your sprites will only be 2D. Here also, it will be on a 2D screen, but it will still look 3D. So how does that happen? The screen suddenly does not become 3D. It does not come out on your face and suddenly everything's become 3D. It actually looks 3D. So I'll give you an example. I'll make my video a bit smaller so that there is enough space for us to see. What I'll do is, this is the Unity consists of many different tabs or like sub windows. So here we have one of the most important ones called the hierarchy window, which has a list of all the objects that you have at one point of time. So I'll just restore the default. And in the hierarchy window, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 3D object, and you'll see exactly why it looks 3D. I'll create a capsule. It got created. I'll just pull it up using these handles. I'll go closer to it and see I can look at it from different angles. This is the basic difference between 3D and 2D. 2D does not really have you can't really view things from different angles. You really don't have too many lighting effects. Like, see, if you see there's a shadow here, which makes it look realistic. Then you also have one side as darker and the other side as brighter. Okay. So what all can we do with these things? We can resize this so the capsule becomes bigger or smaller. Okay. And from different dimensions, X, Y, and Z, I can rotate it using these tool handles, and I can move it using these other tool handles. Okay. So is the capsule the only kind of thing that you can use in Unity? Of course not. Of course not. There's so many other different interesting types of things that you can see inside of Unity. I'm going to show you some of them right now. So let's see something called a Chomper character, which will be very interesting. It'll be very dangerous with a lot of teeth. Our capsule has actually become very big. So what we'll do is we'll also make a Chomper very big here. How do you can also make it big from here. So make it 10 times its own. Oh, sorry. Let's make it 5 times its original size. 5, 5, and 5. And let's look at it now. And let me also minimize my video. So look at this. So this kind of a character is what you would assume would be there inside a game. And yeah, so this is what you would move around, you would make it animate, which is with its mouth closing and opening. Let's see if it is there. The animation is directly there by default. Mm, no, it's not there. No problem. So okay, so yeah, those animations can be there, but they are a slightly advanced topic. In the beginner level, you learn what all what Unity is about. You learn the basics of programming, but most likely we'll be using very basic things like cubes, spheres, capsules. Once you are a master, which is post 6 to 8 months of your training, you will get to work with these characters and you will get to work with complex systems, more complex systems of Unity. Initially, of course, you learn only the basics. So I'm going to show you some other 3D characters here. So here we also have a gun, an Italian machine gun that I downloaded. And by the way, all these are free. You can download all these assets that you're seeing right now. We call them assets and not 3D models because it's a general umbrella term. It's a common term to refer to sounds, images, assets. We call them assets. So you can look at this machine gun over here, and you can also write the code to make it fire. I have actually written a scene to make the machine gun fire, which I will show you in a bit. Then you also have something called particle effects, which are very, very interesting. Which is like, which is one second. Yeah, sorry about the disturbance. So I'm also going to show you something called okay, particle effects we can see later. Now what we'll see is once we've seen these interesting 3D objects, what we'll do is we'll try to do some code. We'll try to write some code. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll simply create a sphere and later we'll create multiple spheres. So that's the script that I was going to show you about. So what you do is go to one of these objects that you see, it's a directional light, and then you add a script. Let's call it create spheres, and then we'll say create and add. And now once you sync your project, your Unity project with Visual Studio, it will appear Visual Studio Code, it will appear over here. Okay, so here is my new script that I created. All this code, this is called code. This will appear right from the start. So if you know a little bit about Scratch, you write something called an input, something called as input code, in which you accept a key press. So here also we will exactly do the same thing. So the what you have to write is exactly like this: input.get key down. It's looking very simple because I've done this so many times, but it's actually very slightly hard because you have to get each and everything correct. You have to get the brackets correct. You have to get the upper case, lower case correct, and that's exactly why you would actually struggle if you want to learn Unity completely by your own. You'll at least need some help. So if you think you need a systematic kind of help, please feel free to reach out to me, and we can take a demo for you, or you can start get enrolled in one of our Unity classes. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable which will hold, just like in Scratch. We're going to create a variable, but variables have types in C#. This language, what we are learning, is called C#. So we'll call it a clone because we are creating a clone. So what we'll do is we'll create a primitive, give object dot create primitive, and then primitive type dot sphere. So this is going to help us create a sphere. Okay. Let's see if I press the space, do I actually get to see a sphere? This process is something called compilation, in which the English like text that I've written is actually getting converted into the language of ones and zeros that the computer actually understands. How does it actually go into inside the computer? That's all is very complicated. That's all that's under comes under the subject of operating systems. One of the subjects that is taught in engineering. So as kids, you don't really need to know too deeply about operating system, but voila, I see a sphere over there. Awesome. So okay, I did something very small. I mean, which with code, it's fun to do something like that, but how about we add some more fun to it? So what we'll do is, instead of get key down, we'll make it as get key, so that it does not accept the key press once, but keeps taking the key press as long as the key is pressed down. What we'll also do is we'll add something magical called a rigid body component, which will make this sphere very lifelike. It'll bounce, it'll respond to gravity. So we're adding a rigid body component. This can also be done from the Unity editor. And I'm just adding a rigid body component, and then I'm also going to give it a random color. So for that, I'm going to do it via the mesh renderer component. In Unity, every object that you see is made up of multiple components. Every object by default has a transform component which controls the position, rotation, and scale, and a mesh renderer component. So I'm going to access that mesh renderer component. So sorry, I did not do a, I need to do an add component here, not a get component. Mesh renderer, and I'm going to access the material property of the mesh renderer, and I'm going to access the color property of that material. So all this is slightly complex. You don't really need to go into that. You will learn about it when you go deeper into Unity. I'm going to give it a random color. This is equal to means giving it a random color. Now let's see what happens when we press the space bar. I'm sure it's going to be something interesting. Oh, there is a, oh, it's not HSV, it is color HSV. My bad. So you don't really need to have a full hold on what the exact spellings are. You can actually, you can also set up Visual Studio in such a way that it gives you suggestions for the correct thing to use. So its compilation is done, and now let's see what happens. I'm going to press the space bar. Okay, so colorful spheres coming out from all over the place. What I'll also do is I'll do something called as a maximize on play. So the moment I press the play button, the screen will become big. So I'm seeing multiple spheres. They're coming out randomly. Okay. So how about I do other shapes? Okay, can we try to? Oh, all of them have fallen down. Also, the laptop is going to become small if I keep slow if I keep creating a lot of them. Let me make the plane a little bigger. Let me go out a little bit so I can also make my plane 10 times or say 5 times its size, like I did for the Chomper. And then we'll also go out a bit, zoom out a bit. This way I can see more of the spheres appearing. Okay, I'll zoom out and I will make this view the same as that of the scene window. So I'll say all of this, it's very hard to remember. So I don't expect you to learn anything. It's just giving you a feel of what Unity is all about. Okay, okay, so many spheres. They'll all fall down. Eventually they'll all fall down and behave like little what is the M&M's kind of chocolates. So okay, now what candies. So now what we'll do is we'll quickly make a modification to the code, and we will create different types of objects. So instead of, I'll just copy paste this entire code, just change the key. Instead of space, let me take QRST. R, yes, that's a QRS. Okay, and then I'll create a capsule. I'll create a cylinder and cylinder, and then I also create a cube. Okay, the compilation process is happening. If there is any problem, I'll see it at the bottom of the screen. So I press the space bar, I see the spheres like before, but now I press the Q, I see what? A different kind of an object, the capsule. In Q, R, S, S I see the blocks, and T I should see, oh sorry, Q, R, R I see the cylinder, and Q I see the capsule. Q R S Q R S Q R S Q R S Q R S. Okay, then fun, right? So many objects exploding out. Okay, so this is just a small example of what all you can do, and stop the game. Otherwise, it may slow down my system. And what can we do next? So we can make these objects move around with key presses. Then I'll also actually want to show you something which is very interesting, which you will hardly ever get to see in a 2D game, which is the effect of a fire. Okay, so I'm going to, I have this, this is all free, by the way. This is all Unity's official assets, which official packages that they offer completely for free. You can download it from the Unity website. In a minute, in some time, we'll also go to the Unity website, the Unity Asset Store website, and see what kind of assets are actually available. There is a whole lot of assets. Assets means images, sounds. Then you have these 3D models and complete game packages. So from which you can completely make your own infinite runner game, etc. Some of them are paid, but a lot of them are actually free. You can download car 3D models, and actually get them into the game and do something with it. Okay, so now let me show you one of these effects, a particle effect, a fire explosion effect I have here. So let's see a big explosion effect, what it looks like. Okay, it will go off any moment now. Okay, yeah, just there. Okay, so you can create effects like this. So now you also have something like a small explosion effect. I'll put all of them here. And then there's something called a plasma effect, which looks really cool. So let me put the plasma effect, a small explosion effect, all of them, and a smoke effect, and a flames particle effect, and a flamethrower also. I don't know if any of you have actually encountered a flamethrower in any of the games that you play, but you have a flamethrower available for free, which you can use in a game. Okay, so let's see. I click on the plasma, and then it will keep going off. Whichever is selected, actually it goes off. I'll actually go a little closer and show it to you. So you can utilize this in a game. You do something, you cast a spell, and boom, a plasma effect goes off, and or maybe some kind of shooting game in which you shoot down tanks and the tank disappears and this plasma effect comes up, or something like that. You create a plasma gun. A lot of things are possible. Okay, now I'll go on to a scene as in a mini game in which you can see a gun being shot. So this is something that we also provide in case some kids want to do some shooting games, but we don't encourage violence. So if you really do want to shoot something down, you can shoot down capsules and spheres, but not actual people, and no blood coming out. So here, this capsule is this guy is moving, and I can actually move around, and it's a very simple logic that I have myself written, and this package also we will give you during the classes to make some games with it. But of course, our condition remains that you cannot make anything violent with this. Only shoot down stuff which are non-human, non-animal, non-life. You cannot shoot down any life with this. That's our condition. You cannot have any violence. Okay. So go around and yeah. Okay. So what shall we do now? Uh, yeah. First, I'll also take you to the Unity asset store where you can see it's all very easy to access. You just say Unity asset store, and you'll get to see tons of assets which are for free, which you can get into the Unity game. It's very simple. You say add to my assets and then go back to Unity and then open it in Unity. So let's search for something called as, not search, we'll take you to what all is available completely for free by Unity. So I'll add the pricing filter as there's a pricing filter there. I don't know why it moved. Yeah, the pricing filter went here. Okay, thanks Unity for confusing us. Okay, so here I've already added this starter asset called third person controller. We'll see what this is all about. The particle pack was also taken from here. Then you have some standard assets in which there are some models, some sounds, etc. Then you have some buttons in case you want to make something complicated. Sorry, in case you want to make something with menus, etc. Then there's this endless runner game that you can directly pick up, and you can make your own modifications to it. So you don't really need to understand the logic of an endless runner in the beginning, but you can surely have a lot of fun by changing the endless runner models, replace them with something, and maybe add a little bit of stuff here and there. Of course, that is something that I don't expect anyone who's learning Unity to do in the first 6 to 8 months, because it is very complicated. You'll be challenged to learn a lot about how what is what in Unity, the editor itself, then the programming language syntax, and how to use it, then the logic. There's a lot to take in. So, but then I'm just telling you what the journey entails, what all you will get to learn later. If you actually do continue learning Unity, you can actually publish your own games to the App Store. There are some students of Codewizards Academy who are already publishing games to the App Store. There's some student of ours who's going to publish a driving game. There's also one side, a platformer game that is a collaboration between three students that's already got published, and one more Dart game that's got published already. So there's a lot of stuff that you can actually do by picking up free assets and coding up simple logic. And who knows, somebody may also pay you for making a small game. But your goal should not be to get any kind of money, but to have a lot of fun. So these are AR face masks. So integrating these assets, you can actually make those mask filters that you see on what is that? What is that? TikTok? No, not TikTok. And there's one Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat filters you can make here. I mean, you can make a game which make an application which has a similar functionality. So lots and lots of things. So let's go back and let me show you the starter package that Unity has given absolutely for free. And let's go there. So starter assets. There's something called a scene, which is like a mini game in itself. So we'll go to that, and yeah, so we'll go to this third person playground scene, and you'll see some simple, so, a simple playground in which this third person control can walk around. You can add your own flavor to it. You can add you can make a pickup game in the first 6 months, 8 months of your training. You can make a pickup game of your own using this starter asset. So you can spawn some fruits here and there, some poison, and this looks really cool, doesn't it? So I'm pressing WASD and I'm going around, and then I think, yeah, if I press shift, oh, something happened to the camera though. Okay, I think I need to just attach the camera to this guy. Okay, Command P, and I will, this camera over here, I will drag and drop into, now, oops, stop the game. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you see this guy, if I press shift, it will start running. Okay, and now you can actually come up with a small simple game around this controller. So nothing had to be done to get this. Okay, just download and import it in something called import into Unity, and there you have it. You have a third person control. It's a bit crude, of course. It will not be as smooth as what you see in a regular game, because it is just something for experimentation and just as a starter asset. But isn't it cool? Isn't it cool already? Okay, then in addition to that, once you learn a bit more, there is a website called Mixamo, from where you can get a lot of free animations and also 3D models. So I'll just show you. This is owned now by Adobe, the one that makes Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Acrobat and multiple video editing software, video and image editing software. So here there are some characters which are available for free. You can download them. You can download these characters, but this is only at the expert level. You can only use these characters because the animation system itself is a bit complicated, and as beginners, we would really not like you to go after very complicated things. So please don't come and join the classes with the expectation that you want to make the next PUBG or you want to make the next COD. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. You have to be very comfortable, first of all, with the language, with how Unity works. Make some very simple things, and then, yeah, once you're an expert with all these things, then you can start experimenting with these things, with the animations and more complex ideas in Unity. Okay, so I hope you got a broad overview. So initially, of course, you'll be working with capsule spheres, etc. You'll be making very simple games. You'll be making shapes. You'll be making a sphere move around and pick up objects, and collide with objects, pick them up, play sounds, change the color of spheres, create lots of spheres here and there, and just like I showed. And what else? And then, but I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. You're going to learn how to explode things. So once, suppose there's a sphere, you move a sphere into an object, it will explode. There'll be a fire particle effect, and there's an explosion sound that will play. It will look exactly like you made it explode. You'll get to play with the gun shooting scene in which you can shoot down objects like fruits. There are fruits coming down from the top, and you have to shoot them. If you miss, you lose a point. If you hit, then you get 5 points. Something like that. Those kind of games you can make by the end of 6 to 8 months, provided you work properly and you remember what we teach you. Okay, Unity is a lot of fun. It's a professional software. Uh, Chances are that if you grow up, you will actually use this knowledge that you gain in our classes, and you'll also be able to publish a game, which will be a very good thing on your resume once you grow up. You are applying for a university abroad or even in India, and you have on your resume you published a game as a child. That will look really, really good. Believe me, playing games is not something very that's looked down upon, and probably rightly so, because it wastes a lot of time. But making games is an entirely different thing. You need to put in hard work, you need to use your imagination, and it is far more satisfying. I can tell you that. You play a game, you get bored, you leave, you go on to the next game. But you can keep making one Unity game for a really long time, keep refining it, keep improving it, show it to friends, with the goal that you're going to publish it, and you are not going to get bored in the process easily. You'll feel very, very satisfied, you'll feel very enriched, and this knowledge is real. The knowledge of C# and Unity is something that is very, very valuable even today as professionals. As a software developer, today, if you are an expert in Unity, you can develop AR and VR applications, you can develop games. There'll be tons and tons of jobs waiting for you already. Okay, so this is not child stuff. You need to know basics of programming, you need to know Scratch or maybe basics of Python, and then you can come on to Unity and do the hardcore real stuff. So do you have it in you? If you do, then hit me up, call me, and I'll ask your parents to talk to me or you yourself on 7032512444. The name of the academy is Codewizards, and our fees are reasonable. They are paid monthly. We don't actually charge for the entire, we don't have any package system, and it's all very friendly. You don't need to pay much upfront fees at all. So if you want to learn something that is really, really cool like Unity, which is a professional skill, which you'll enjoy and your parents will also like, and if you are a parent, then please understand that we are actually teaching hardcore C#. There is no, this is not a dumbed down version like Python or anything. This is actual hardcore C#. And with C#, of course, if you're a software developer, you would know that Java and C# are the primary languages of enterprise development. Of course, so is Python for now for data science, etc. But the reason Python is used to teach kids because the syntax is far more simpler. But we want kids to do the hard stuff because the work is so inspiring, the work is so entertaining that we are sure, and we have seen that kids actually overcome the challenge of learning the hard part, and they actually are willing to do what it takes to learn and master this art of programming. We'll also teach them all the basics of programming, other than the very core, like the for loop, if condition, this, that, functions, etc. In addition to that, in the advanced levels, not in the first 6 months, in the advanced levels, they will learn about inheritance. They will learn about object-oriented programming. What are objects? What are classes? Then maybe some of the very basic design patterns like Singleton. And even maybe even dependency injection. So by the time they spend a good amount of, by the time they're out of the academy, actually we are never out of the academy. People generally, once they get hooked on to Unity, they keep going on and on forever. But if they are with us for a considerable amount of time, you can consider that they would know a lot of real world valuable skills and knowledge that we actually value in the real world. That is what interviewers, even I as an interviewer, would look for in a candidate. So that kind of real world knowledge they will acquire in the course. All right. So if there are any further questions, or if you want to schedule a demo or something, please let me know by messaging either in the comments over here, or via WhatsApp, or WhatsApp, Telegram, or directly on the mobile. My number is again 7032512444. Thank you for watching.